Steve Tasker and Chris Brown here till 3 o'clock. We are pleased to be joined on the line right now by our guest, Marquise Goodwin. He was a Buffalo Bill from 2013 to 2016. He's played 7 years in the NFL. This would have been his first season with the Philadelphia Eagles, but he is opting out. Marquise, Steve Tasker and Chris Brown here in Buffalo, thanks so much for joining us. How are you and your family doing during the pandemic? Are you guys safe and well so far?
How you guys doing, man? I'm doing well. My family and I are safe. We're at home quarantined and just enjoying each other's presence.
Yeah, I watched your YouTube video when you made your announcement that you're going to opt out, and of course you've gotten pushback from people and trolls on Twitter and social media and all of that. Give people, as much as you're comfortable doing in this setting, Marquise, give people an insight as to what was behind your decision.
Basically, my baby. My wife and I, we've experienced, since I left Buffalo, I've gotten married, have the opportunity to marry my best friend who I met in college, Morgan Snow, now Morgan Goodwin. We got pregnant in 2017 and 2018. We experienced three losses of babies, and we were blessed this year, February 19th, 2020, with our rainbow baby, Murray. And, that's where we are right now.
And congratulations to you. And that really is the reason behind. You had some regrets about how you handled the previous pregnancies, did you not?
Yeah, man. So 2017, it was a struggle for me because, I had just went to a new team coming from Buffalo. I was with the 49ers. And my wife and I, we had our first loss in November. And, that's crunch time during the season. That's the teams you remember in November and December, right? So, crunch time for football, and we weren't doing that well. And so my wife was experiencing some complications, and we rushed her to the ER. We got there, and we ended up prematurely delivering our first baby. And we both decided that it was best for me to go and play in the game, which was 4 or 5 hours later, because we didn't know, what would be the result if I were not to play in the game. I've never voluntarily missed a game. So regardless of what it was, I've missed my great-grandmother's burial. I've missed so many birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, just because football was my priority. So I ended up going and playing the game, scored my first touchdown of the season, and we got our first win of the season. But I just felt so empty because, I left my wife at the hospital by herself to grieve by herself after just losing our baby. And I told myself that I never would do that again to her. So I never would choose football over her again.
And yet, a year later, the same thing kind of happened, and you made good on that, right?
Yeah, same thing. 2018, we ended up getting pregnant with twins, and in November of 2018, the same exact thing happened. We experienced complications the same week, and the same gestational period of pregnancy. We end up rushing to the hospital, at this time, I'm in Tampa, Florida, getting ready to play against the Buccaneers. And I got a call from her, and she said she was feeling like that she was having serious cramps and contractions. So my grandmother, who was there monitoring her while I was on away games and at practice and, at work, rushed her to the hospital then, and that's when I got the call. So I immediately got on a plane, and I flew back from Tampa to go comfort and console my wife. And we ended up losing twins then. So I made good on my promise then to myself, and I vowed to, never do it again. And, so we ended up getting pregnant in 2019.
Family first, man.
Yeah, we're talking with Marquise Goodwin, former Buffalo Bills wide receiver. He's about to head into his 8th year in the National Football League. Marquise, this was going to be your first season with the Philadelphia Eagles. How have they handled your opt-out, and what kind of feedback have you gotten from the team that you're supposed to play for this year?
And I've gotten great feedback from the Eagles. The organization has been nothing less than supportive. My head coach, Doug Peterson, great character, great guy. Can't wait to play for him because he's been super supportive, as well as my receiver coach and Howie, our GM. So I'm thrilled that I'm a part of such a great organization. As you know, Buffalo Bills was a great organization as well when I was over there. You know, I just look forward to going up to Philly at some point and being able to put on that midnight green uniform. But until COVID-19 has been resolved, I think it's best that I remain at home and protect my family.
Yeah, and knowing you're at peace with that decision, just listening to you, Marquise, do you still believe, knowing the passion you have for this game, that there might be a couple of times between now and, you know, December where you'll have that little itch that you want to scratch? I mean, you know you're doing the right thing by your family here, but still, knowing how professional football players tick, I got to believe there might be a couple of weak moments where you're just scratching and, you know, climbing up the walls a little bit because you're not playing, right?
Man, I'm walking around the house with my cleats on right now. I'm ready to go. Hey, where my helmet?
That's how you guys are wired, though, man.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be definitely an itch that's gonna be hard to scratch, but it's something that's necessary and it's a no-brainer. I have to do it. You know what I mean? I gotta honor my word and my vows that I made to not only Morgan and myself, but to God on our wedding day, and which is to put her first through sickness and in health, for richer or for poor. So I have to honor that.
And you've been in contact with your teammates now and your former teammates as well. How have they handled your opt-out?
Oh, man, speaking of former teammates, Lorenzo Alexander, a Buffalo Bill great, Eric Wood, a Buffalo Bill great, they've reached out to me. And, you know, they've shown great support. I've gotten support from also my Eagle teammates and my past 49er teammates. So everybody's been supportive, nothing but positive vibes, great energy. And, you know, they've commended me on making that decision because a lot of them have said that, you know, they don't know if they can make the same decision. So because we all have that great love for football, but at the end of the day, I have to do what's best for my family, and they all understand that.
And then, I mean, I don't want to focus on the negative here, Marquise, but, you know, you got some trolls on social media that, you know, feel it necessary to be critical at the drop of a hat. How effective are you as a person in compartmentalizing that and just dismissing it as noise, I guess, more than anything else? How good are you at you know, cycling that out of your thought process?
Oh, my goodness. I've had to build thick skin over the years. When I first came into the league, I was a little sensitive to that because in Texas, you know, we handle things a little differently when it came to sports, when it came to politics within sports. And so, you know, being a professional going into my 8th year, I've learned how to kind of just ingest and get what I need from those conversations and then just move on. You know, I really don't harp on it too long. You know, I just take a deep breath. I may respond to a couple of them with a super intelligent answer, and then I'll go on about my business.
Right. Marquise, what's your gut feeling about this season? Certainly, you know how it's going to be in locker rooms. The players are going to be gung-ho to play every week and stay healthy.
Oh, yeah.
How hard is it going to be for the young players and even veteran players like yourself to mind their manners outside the building? I mean, because we feel like that's the key. Inside the building, they're going to have protocols, and guys watching you. What's going to happen away from the building, and how do you think that's going to go for veterans and young guys?
Yeah, honestly, that's the only thing that I worried about. I really didn't worry about the teams protecting us players within the building. It's a matter of, well, what about when the young guys go home? And or the veterans, whoever, you know, likes to go out and party or just to mingle. You know, you don't want to be cooped up in your house, but it's a responsibility that everybody has to uphold and work together. And so I just hope that every guy that's going out there to play and risking their lives for people's entertainment, that they really, really focus in, lock in, and do what they need to do to keep everybody in the NFL safe so that games are able to still be played if possible. But, you know, I don't foresee everybody just adhering to those rules because, you know, after a win coming from the East Coast to the West Coast or the West Coast to the East Coast, like, you're going to want to go out and, you know, enjoy the win with some of your friends and family. So I don't know how that looks, but I pray and hope that they, do the right thing.
And Marquise, are you in Texas right now?
I am.
Yeah, so
It's
I don't need to tell you that that's been a hot spot, for COVID and
literally
everything.
and figuratively.
Yeah, I mean, how concerning, how disconcerting is it for you that the numbers are where they are in your home state, and how troubling is it for you that it's taken some people an awfully long time to get the message and do the right thing?
Yeah, it's concerning. Even people that I love and care about, just don't get it. You know what I mean? Don't get how to sit down, and I think it's because most of the media is trying to minimize how serious this is, and they try to throw stats out like, oh, well, only 150,000 people out of 7 billion people have died. Only? You mean to tell me those 150,000 lives that were lost because of this disease didn't matter? So I take that into account, and I take it very serious because, every life is important. So I wouldn't want anybody – go ahead.
And I was just going to say, and speaking of that, how is your sister doing? Because I have to believe she's in a high-risk category, right?
Yeah, my sister's at a high risk. Even I'm at a high risk with sickle cell and asthma. I haven't mentioned it because I don't want people to make it – I don't want to make it just about a me thing. I ultimately think that I ultimately made this decision for my baby girl, but my sister, she's definitely high risk, having cerebral palsy, born with that. My mom is currently helping take care of 4 of my sister's kids. She just had twins, so I have other family members at risk as well. My grandmother has health issues that she deals with, my aunt. So my family is extremely affected by this. So I'm trying to do the best that I can to help protect everybody.
We're talking with Marquise Goodwin, former Buffalo Bill and current Philadelphia Eagle, opting out of the National Football League's 2020 season, and for good reason. What's your advice to the other players who call you and who say, you mentioned some guys like, I don't know if I could make that decision. Do you feel there's a percentage of guys who maybe feel that, like you did as a young player, it's probably the right thing to sit out for me and my family, but I just can't do it? How many guys do you think there are like that around the league?
More than enough. And, I think it's a conversation that probably could be had when having to choose your family or choose, whether to go to work or your family. And for me, it's a no-brainer. But, guys were raised differently, and some guys just don't have the same opportunities as me. I'm going into my 8th year. So financially, I'm good. I've saved my money over my 7 years in the league so far. I've done really well with finances, and I've been smart. So a lot of guys can't say the same. So I didn't make my money. Not my money. My decision was not driven off of money. My decision was driven solely off of protecting my family and the safety and the health of myself and my family. So to the guys who are struggling with this, I just urge you to just make a decision that ultimately will help you and your family, and whatever will make you happy. You still get an opportunity next year, and just make the decision and just live with it. Make the decision that you are comfortable with living with.
Well, Flash, I really don't have any other questions for you. I want to wish you and your family well, especially that little one you got at home now, and all the best to your sister, who is she's just a shining light. I remember doing a story on that with you years ago, and we miss you up here in Buffalo, but I'll let Steve close things up. So it was really good to talk to you, and I hope you're yeah, go ahead.
Can y'all send me some Elmo wings from Buffalo? Because I really need them right about now.
Hey, it was National Chicken Wing Day just the other day, I saw.
Yeah. Marquise, thank you so much for spending some time with it. We miss you, man. We wish you all the best, and we hope to see your return in 2021 to the National Football League.
Most definitely. Nothing but love.